Yo! Hey. So I was out on a walk yesterday and I was clearing my mind, walking around the riverlands behind my house, and a sudden flash of inspiration came to my mind, and I was thinking about how I record when I'm over here, how I record art stuff, and it got me thinking. I just used my PC, got a webcam, which is who I'm talking to now, my mic that's plugged into my PC as well, so it's not very mobile, and my phone has like no memory left, so I have to record quite stationary, and that kind of means that I can't do much excitement. I can't do much in the way of like exciting, going here, there and everywhere and recording all different things at all different angles. So my brain suddenly struck me with the name Desk Diaries, because I record here at my desk, quite stationary, my little nook area here with my desk in front. You're up on a jewellery stand that's got some embroidery floss in it, all my stuff around me. I don't move much from here when I do art stuff, so I thought, why not call it Desk Diaries? Not a studio diary, I don't have a studio, this is my little corner of the world. But yeah, I don't know, I thought it sounded cuter, and hopefully it's worthwhile, hopefully it's enjoyable. I've got some things I want to show, I have stuff I want to paint, I'm in the middle of reading a book that I'm really enjoying that I want to chat about, so I thought, why not? Why not do it? Why not have some fun and just do something random, throw it out there and see if someone somewhere enjoys it. So this might be a little bit different to the last kind of art video kind of thing I put up, because that was mainly just me kind of doodling, you couldn't see a lot, and I put a bunch of music over it, but I might be a little bit more chatty in this one. Yeah. One thing I can actually do, because my webcam here has a very long cord on it actually, is I can actually kind of move you around the space a little bit, which will come in quite handy because I can just leave my PC, my laptop, here stationary and then kind of flip you around a bit. But I did actually kind of move where my desk is since the last thing you would have seen. My desk was here in front of the window to let in some light in. But I didn't make the best sense of like the space and stuff. Like, I have a lot of stuff I needed to store down here, and I couldn't really do it the way my desk was because it filled this whole like corner area. So what I've actually done, I can show you, is I've moved my desk here against the wall. Liam's stuff kind of goes along this side, so it goes across here, that's where you were just a moment ago in the corner. My old desk was here, and then I've put this little area into the corner. This is like an old TV stand here with my box that's containing all of my paints and stuff and paper, easel, larger canvases and papers and stuff and boards, and then that's where my chair goes. The chair goes in here, a cute little mat, and then yeah, my desk. Hello. So yeah, a little bit different. I've made a lot better use of the space, I think, doing it this way. So yeah, hopefully it works out better in the long run. I'm feeling like it's working out better, even though the light's kind of at a different angle, but because of the way the light comes in towards like the afternoon evening from that window kind of blinds you if you're sitting directly in front of it. So it's actually better this way because it's kind of just the leftover light coming across my desk. So I actually do enjoy it quite a bit more, to be honest. So before I get on with any artwork and stuff like that today, I want to upload an ASMR video that I recorded earlier doing my makeup. Been meaning to do it for ages, for literally the longest time, but time's just slipped away from me again. And I feel back 'cause at the end of every video I always say, oh, it won't be long before the next one, sorry it's taken so long and stuff like that, and then it ends up being ages before the next one again. So I'm gonna put that up now. Recorded it this morning. I've just popped a little Dutch waffle on top of my coffee in hopes that it does that nice gooey melty thing that it says on the packet. I think my coffee's too cold now, even though it's boiling on my hands, but yeah, I'm just gonna get that uploading and then get on with doing fun creative stuff. So chat to you soon. Didn't really think about where I was going to put this down. Maybe I can. Very classy. So, other day I started reading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I wasn't expecting too much from it. I love like kind of any kind of book on bettering yourself and stuff like that. It's just kind of what I like reading, and they're also really easy reading because I find with other books I just can't be bothered to read them. But well, I read a lot more than I thought. I read like a third of the book, and after that I was like super inspired because it's all about like living creatively and not letting like fear get in the way of like letting it stop you from being creative. And I just had like a burst of creativity after I read that. And the other night I painted this little canvas, which it's not picking up the colours amazingly because I'm obviously in a bit of a weird lighting situation if I move you around a little bit. but I can never be bothered to get my acrylics out, like, ever. And I can also never be bothered to use my canvases, and like I'm saving them for something even though I don't use them for anything else. So yeah, it just really put me in a groove. I need to finish the edges because they're either white or just have kind of dribs and drabs of paint that have fallen onto them. But I actually like it. It's pretty surreal for me. But the way the colours are and the texture and stuff is a lot more similar to things that I actually enjoy consuming visually. So I found it funny how I was inspired to create something more like that. I called this one Light Bodied. There is something in me, and I wanted to create kind of a series, I suppose, all light-bodied ones, so probably all using kind of human-esque silhouettes and stuff like that, surrounded by more kind of surreal or just kind of textural stuff, playing with colour and things. But I don't have anything specifically in mind. I did when I went for my walk yesterday. I had like a proper idea in my head, but it was too late by the time I got back in for me to like realise it. But I have this large canvas board here, a big boy, that I want to paint, and I was thinking, screw it, I'll paint another one of them. But I want it to come to my mind. I was in a bit of a shitty mood yesterday. It's kind of why I went for a walk anyway. And I had an idea to do one, but the figure was going to be like deep navy, with like the only colours that could come to mind with other blues and like pinks and stuff in it. But I couldn't completely visualise it in my head, not to like enough detail that I could paint it, whereas I did with that one. So I think I might actually read a little bit more of this book now, and see if it maybe sparks something again and hits something again. Here's hoping.
Find myself to thinking that I was never going to get help, that I was going to continue suffering with this problem. And the worse that my physical condition is, the worse
Hello, so it's actually future recording Abbie now. Just thought I'd do a little bit of a voiceover for this part here. I'm actually editing this quite a bit in the future from when it was recorded. Life got pretty hectic, ended up having surgery, which was good fun, but I'm here and I'm editing it now. I'm pretty busy recently actually doing some work with clay and making some earrings and stuff, but I wanted to have this edited up and finished and ready to go out so I could start recording some new stuff. So I remember feeling pretty uninspired on the day I was recording this. I was all kind of set up to have a really nice artistic, creative day, and it ended up falling a little bit flat. So I did try and kind of like coax some ideas out of myself at the time. So I was sketching, you can see I'm kind of thumbnailing, and this one I'm working on now is actually the one I end up painting at the very end. But at the time, I really wasn't feeling it. You'll see me draw a few different kinds of thumbnails, just trying to kind of squeeze out some inspiration from myself. But I really couldn't get much, to be honest. I was having a little bit of a block when it came to getting some ideas and getting some stuff done. But I just kept pushing through, and I think in the end, I kind of figured out how I wanted this idea to come out and be on paper, and went away for a bit, did a bit of reading, read a little bit more of my book that I talked about before, which I've now finished, and then I came back to it and I was actually really in the mood to paint. So you'll see that I work on this little thumbnail for quite a bit actually. You can also see I did thumbnail. I'm not much of a thumbnail person actually. Usually I'm not, unless I'm working on something big. But generally I would just get a feeling and kind of go into it. But I did thumbnail that other one I showed at the beginning. You can see on the far side of my sketchbook with all the yellow and orange. So I did kind of like thumbnail the colours and the placements of that. But usually I don't tend to do that, but I think it's a handy thing to do because then you can kind of open up your sketchbook, flip through and actually find some ideas that you might be able to paint, especially if you're in a bit of a lull when it comes to inspiration. But yeah. Forgot to say as well, the video I'm listening to is Audra Claire. She recently came back to YouTube and I always really loved her content. I was always super inspired by her. She's the reason I own a Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. But yeah, I've just been really enjoying art content recently, especially studio vlogs and stuff like that. I find that they also really help kind of get me in the mood. It's like having an art friend to, you know, keep you company, inspire you to make and create some stuff as well. So despite the fact that this particular video was her talking about her struggles and stuff, a lot about her mental health, I do find that just sometimes having that little bit of a, even if it's one way, but a little bit of a connection really tends to help get you in the groove. I've hit a wall. You know, when you have like a plan for what you want to do and what you want to get done, and foolishly I was banking on being super in the mood to paint and all of this stuff, and I just don't have anything in there. Like I've doodled a couple things while watching a couple videos, which I don't mind, but nothing that's making me go, like I really need to paint that. And also I was eating, I went to eat my lunch and I chomped oh my god, I chomped my tongue so bad, really badly bit it. And I can feel it swollen, and I can feel it like against my tooth every time I speak. So I don't know. I did a bit of reading, I read a bit of my book. Still really enjoying that. Didn't want to kind of rush through reading a ton of it when I feel like I'm not taking it in properly today. I was watching Audra Auclair's like comeback video, who is an artist that I've followed for years now and who has been a massive inspiration for me, especially back when I hadn't used like watercolours and stuff before. Like the reason I own a Pentel brush pen, that kind of thing. And you can tell, especially in my old sketchbook where I could use watercolours in it, that it was inspired by her. Even to this day, when I look through a lot of my drawings, I can still see some of her inspiration in the way I draw today. And she, came back with a video, something pretty chill, just her kind of, doodling in her sketchbook, even though everything she does is like always so rich. Talking about her personal life and stuff like that. And some stuff I can relate to in it, honestly. Especially with just like how art is so affected by your mental state. And even though yesterday when I went out for that walk and I felt really inspired, out and about, listening to a really good album, like it was a lovely time of day and stuff like that, and I had the idea for like desk diaries or whatever, and that other idea of a painting to do, which I couldn't do at the time. I was in a pretty crappy headspace, but also in a better one because I was out and about. So it's just a strange thing, like some of the points she made, I feel like so many of us can relate to. I don't want to try and get blood out of a stone anyway by forcing myself to draw or to paint when I'm not in the mood, even though one of these, both of the little doodles I do like, but I'm not being called to paint them. And whether that's just me not having the energy to paint today, or they're just not the right idea for me to want to follow through with, I don't know. I might go and sit in the garden or something. I think I need to just like move away from here. I was starting to watch a Joyce Ann video as well of her journaling, and it looked like fun, but I just have hit a slump right now, so I think I need to kind of rekindle my energy somewhere, which isn't here, because I feel like here feels quite stagnant right now. So maybe I'll go and sit in the garden, maybe read a little bit more of this outside, and yeah, get back to it. I can at least show you the couple of little sketches that I did that I didn't really mind actually. So these are the ones I did that I didn't mind. These two here, I know they're kind of crap quality. This one kind of reminds me of that Brockhampton album cover that I think is of someone pregnant, in this kind of like, it looks like a scan of some kind, like a heat map or something. And then I also did this one that's kind of like a hand with a figure, similar to, this was the original sketch for this bad boy. But yeah, I don't know, nothing came out of it that felt quite right. I like these ideas. I think that would look really nice in paint. I just, yeah, like I say, I don't massively have, put you back, I don't massively have the energy for painting that right now, and I feel like I need to get that somewhere, because I'm not someone that does amazing when I'm forced to expend energy on something that I don't feel like on the same level as expending that energy. It's hard to explain, but I feel like people will understand me when I say that anyway. So yeah, I think I'm going to take this book into Le Jardin and maybe have a nice lolly because my tongue hurts. So this was the point where, just before I restarted the recording, I realized that the memory on my laptop had completely filled up. So I went on and freed up some space and then started recording again, but I had noticed pretty late, so there's quite the jump in progress. Although now I'm sitting here in the future looking at the actual artwork behind me on my easel right now, it doesn't look like this at all. You'll see that this is the point where I kind of start making bolder decisions with it. I'm still working in really thin layers of acrylic, just using water to water it down quite a bit, but I'm using a lot more thinner layers of a lot more micro like mixes of colours in between, so you can definitely see it on the finished piece a lot more. But there were a lot more colours used. It was kind of less blending and more thin glazes of overlapping shades that kind of make the blend. But I wanted there to be a lot of texture still in the piece. It's what I really liked about the small canvas that I showed at the beginning, is that you could see all of the bristly, scratchy marks that were in it. And I really wanted to keep that essence. But yeah, it just was like repetition of me polishing and polishing and polishing bits of it. The main figure that you can kind of see takes up the majority of the board, that was pretty simple enough, but I spent quite a lot of time working on the smaller kind of silhouette that's in that middle portion of the chest, where you can see I kind of did just a small streak of blue to begin with, just as kind of a placeholder for it, just to get kind of a feel for where I would put it in the end. See now, I'm really starting to work on that silhouette in the center, and it stays pretty neat actually. It doesn't stay too far off from what you can see now. It's just the blending of the color around it. But while I'm just painting, doing a lot of layering and stuff like that, I thought I would talk about my book again, now that I've actually finished it, and I really enjoyed it. Cheyenne Barton, if I'm getting her name right, here on YouTube and like Insta and stuff like that, another creator. I know she referenced it in one of her videos recently, and I think she was saying how she really liked how it approached inspiration and like how ideas kind of flow. It's like everything to do with creativity, I think, is a lot more fluid, and I really liked that. I enjoyed how every time I seemed to take a moment to read the book, I pretty much got a kind of a wave of inspiration after, I'd say. And when I mean inspiration, I kind of mean it quite broadly, whether it's you get kind of an influx of energy in, like, that you can harness to put forward into doing something creative, or whether it was just an idea would come to mind that I felt that I could really go into. But I really liked that about the book, and I don't know how much of that was me kind of projecting that sensation into it, or whether maybe that's something that other people have had, that they found that it really just kind of lifted their spirits enough maybe to get them going. But I did really like it, and I liked how easy it was to read, and it wasn't too airy-fairy, if that's not your thing. Not that I don't mind that myself, I quite like kind of more spiritual takes on things like that, but I feel like it was really accessible, both in the writing style and in the way she portrayed her ideas of how inspiration and creativity and stuff like that, how she believes they work. And I've got to say, I think I agree. I do feel like just that way of like it being on a different frequency and trying to access you in as many ways as it knows it can, and if you're not on the same wavelength, frequency, whatever, to receive that, then it will just flow through you and flow to someone else, or rather not flow through you, but just kind of like brush past you like a breeze and go to someone that's ready to kind of manifest the idea, or, you know, put the work in. And that's kind of a nice thing, I think, in a way, because you think that all of those ideas that you might have thought were great but never put into motion just kind of fall flat. But I think instead, more so, that you just want the host for them and someone else will get the joy of creating them instead. And I think that's a lot more of a positive outlook to have as well, because I think it's so easy to kind of get really attached to ideas, even if you never bring them to fruition. And I think being able to let them go when you know that you're not gonna get round to it, or maybe you don't have the time or the resources to make something happen. While I think there's a strong argument for hard work and perseverance, I think there's a strong argument for really learning to let things go and just, you know, throw them into the ether, or, you know, kind of release them like a bird. And I think, makes you a lot more calmer and less afraid of losing ideas yourself. So there's not much left of this video now, and not much left of the time lapse going on. I recorded a tiny bit of footage of me packing up, and you can see the final piece in there. But if you would like to see pictures of the final piece, you can feel free to head over to my Facebook page or my Instagram. The links are down below. I had a lot of fun with this. It's, like I said before, it's sitting behind me now, and I do really like it. There's something about it. It's pretty different for me, again, but I think not being afraid of experimenting is something I'd like to carry through this year. So I hope you're well, I hope you're safe, I hope you're doing okay, and I'll see you soon. See you around.